My character is named Benjiman McKennith, born March 21st, 1918. He is the son of a wealthy oil tycoon and he lives with his mom, dad, and sister in their large estate outside New York City. I chose my character because I wanted them to enjoy the splendor and magic of being the heir to a massive oil fortune in the 1920s. Basically, I wanted them to be rich, filthy rich, and enjoy the comforts that came with that in Great Gatsby times. A challenge I had was my phone. I kept getting distracted by it, and then eventually I had to give it to my mom so I could focus. I enjoyed creating my character and giving him and his parents a backstory. Here is a journal that I created. It's a bit long, so I'll try and fit in what I can. What challenge have you overcome? Overcoming adversity. April 16th, 1928. Spit it out, son, my father shouted at me from across the dining room table. This, of course, only made me more nervous and even harder for me to enunciate my words without stuttering like a fool. Speak, goddammit, he roared, slamming his fist on the expensive mahogany dining chair. I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. I couldn't let him see me cry, though. I left the room and ran up the stairs, tripping on the last step. I laid at the top of the steps for a while. Then the tears came. I've had a stutter since I was around 4. I remember it started on our family trip to England in the summer of 1924. My father took me and my mother to see his old friend and business partner in his lavish London mansion. I remember the large suits of armor he had hung up around the house. I remember their shiny steel breastplates and the swords they kept were holding so polished that you could see a reflection as clear as a mirror. I had brought my dog with me, Finn. My father told me, leave the damn dog at home, but I must have cried quite a bit because eventually my dad caved and allowed me to bring Finn to England. One day in London, I was playing with Finn in the garden at the back of the house when I decided that Finn didn't deserve to come all this way only to see the inner walls of a garden. So I grabbed a stick and led him out to the front door. I opened the door and threw the stick as far as I could into the London street. Finn was trampled by a horse and killed in front of my very eyes, and it absolutely traumatized me. Ever since, I've had a stutter. Since then, my parents have gotten me numerous doctors and speech therapists to get me stop stuttering. Unfortunately, none of them worked until I met Henrietta. Henrietta was an African-American woman my mom occasionally hired to clean our summer estate. One day, I was playing in the garden. She approached me and asked me if I had trouble talking. I said I did. She took me by the hand and led me into the library. She sat me down on a chair and taught me tongue exercises and a few tricks to practice when I was stammering. They worked. When she was done, I asked her how she knew those tricks, and she replied, my son had a stutter too, as did I when I was your age. Don't let it define you. Rise above it, Ben. I've taken her word to heart and practiced every day. Although I still stutter sometimes now and then, my father gets very upset when I do. It's gotten better every day. At first, it was a challenge to live with a stutter, but I've overcome it thanks to Henrietta.